jobs. And today I'm very proud to announce the Defence Investment Agency. The goal or aim of this agency is to equip the Canadian Armed Forces with the tools and equipment they need at the speed of relevance, bringing Canadian industry into the tent to stimulate our own economy and to create good-paying jobs for Canadians. We're going to continue to build out our defence relationships and security relationships with like-minded countries that share our values. And don't worry, we're still going to work with our partners to the south, but we're not going to be spending 75 cents of our dollar south. We'll be amortizing that money out in Canada where we can, and then spending it in other places where we have to. This House has only sat for 34 days, and this ministry has only been established for 100 days. So this is a step change in the way we do this. Many governments have talked about it, and over the last couple months I've realized why it never got done, because it was very, very difficult to do. This agency has authority, resources, and people to get it done, and we're going to move forward at the speed of relevance to make sure that our Canadian Armed Forces get the equipment they need on time. And I'm open to any questions you may have for me.
What made this so difficult to do?
Well, it requires a major machinery of government change, and everyone, even the opposition over years, have talked about this. Everyone thinks it's a good idea, but when you go to these departments to ask for their people, their authorities, and their resources, oftentimes they go, hey, just a second here, we kind of like it the way it was. That was kind of my experience.
How do you get this past Public Works? Public Works has been the purchaser of all these things. They have been the roadblock.
Well, I would say of all of the agencies, Public Works has been very, very supportive. I have nothing but very positive people to say. In fact, this is a very large effort, and I would say of the agencies that were helping get this done, they were the most supportive. So, so just to give you a little bit more background on the structure of this, it's a special operating agency set up under Public Works. It will have its own authorities, like I mentioned, its own people, and its own resources. We've announced earlier the CEO, Doug Guzman, and he will act in the capacity of a deputy minister, but we're going to call him a CEO. He'll have ADMs below him, and we'll have staff cells underneath that to help push these procurements faster.
Yeah, but I understand, like, the agency will hire the same public servant that is actually working, like doing this job, right?
You bring up a good point. So this isn't another layer of anything. Like the other previous governments have actually added agencies in top or on top or within to make it go faster, and that's just adding things. It's not taking anything away. We're porting resources from 3 departments into this agency, right? So there's no extra. This is a single point of accountability. So on day one, fragmented oversight is now gone because it's one spot looking and working on all the procurements, and duplication of effort is eliminated. It's very hard to believe that with 3 massive departments in the government working on a project that there isn't duplication of effort. I just know intuitively that there is. Day one, that's gone.
On a separate issue, sort of related though, procurement, the F-35 review and what's going to happen with that purchase. I understand it's still going on. It might get looped into the industrial strategy. Why is that? Because we understood it was supposed to be done by the summer, by the end of last month. Why is that still going on? What's the holdup there?
Yeah, I think the most important part is we get the decision right. So there's no pressure on us to make a decision until we're ready to make a decision. We're a sovereign country. We're going to make the decision based on our needs and what's best for Canadians and Canada. And taking the time to get the decision right hasn't slowed anything down. We're under contract for 16 airplanes right now. They're in various stages of production at the manufacturer. And taking a bit of extra time to make sure we get it right, I think is a responsible thing to do.
You know, what is, because obviously a few months ago the thinking was that you guys would be able to have a decision by the end of September or whatever. What changed?
Well, it's a complex problem, and the more you look at it, the more you realize how complex it is. So there's lots of arms and legs to the decision, and we're going to take the time we need to get it right.
So just asking, in Kitchener, there's a company that makes the assault rifles for the Canadian Forces. Colt used to be Dynamarco. If they need an upgrade, if the Canadian Army needs an upgrade, and that is our sole supplier, how fast in theory, can something like this happen? Can new rifles roll out the door? A couple years?
No. That is on my radar as doing as quickly as I can, because there's very little barrier to that other than money. The military wants it. It's a Canadian company. All the bits and pieces line up. The procurement's almost there. It just needs to be funded, and we're going to get that. I want to get that out the door as quick as I can.
You rely actually, I think you say 70 or 75% on US for, war equipment and stuff.
Sure.
What's the new target with the agency? Is it 50%, 60%? Is there a new target?
It's very hard to nail down a target good because it's equipment specific. I mean, obviously, if we can do it in Canada, and one thing I've learned over the last several months of touring all over this country is we have awesome capacity and capability right here. I think it was underappreciated, in my opinion. It's significant. So if we can buy it in Canada without adversely hurting the timeline, because again, I got to do this at speed, right? So we can't for subs are a great example. We don't build submarines in Canada. We could, it would just take way too long. So we've looked elsewhere. So I'm going to parlay that into how much Canada can be involved economically with in-service support and some other deals on a G2G level. With regard to the US, there's some systems that we will probably just have to buy from the US. Again, we're not abandoning that relationship. It's going to change, and we're going to amortize or diversify ourselves in ways that meet the moment. And that's not having all our eggs in one basket, whether it be the US or anybody else.
So you don't have any specific target?
No. Well, it'll be looked at on a case-by-case basis based on the requirements of the CAF. The Canadian Armed Forces dictate the requirements, and if what they need, not all countries build all things. So we'll look around to see where we can do it, and if the only place we can get it is the US, then that's probably where we'll end up going. But again, I got to parlay that into in-service support. I got to think about IP. There's a bunch of things I still need to think about.
Working in television, and forgive me, David, for 1 second, pictures, thinking the Ukraine conflict, drones would be a logical Canadian thing to build in this country, Bombardier Saabs, AWACS program, that would be logical. Those sort of things that we could, in theory, build and you would fund, and I could use those pictures on television.
Yeah, those are. We have awesome capability in shipbuilding. Everyone knows that. We have awesome capability in space, aerospace, land systems, AI. If you really start to look, you will find Canada has unbelievable capability. The other thing this agency is going to do, other than try and buy from Canada, which is a high priority, and the Prime Minister's been clear on that, is we need to parlay our excellence outside our own border. We don't do that very well. So, where we can partner, these are, like, if you go and spend billions of dollars on submarines with another country, that's a relationship you're going to have for a long time. Can we work that relationship in other ways that benefit Canada economically and the partner that we're working with? I need to make sure, and I know Melanie Joly and Manny Sidhu and myself, I was at a big trade show over in London a month and a half ago. Canada has awesome capability. There was 220 SMEs at this trade show, biggest footprint we've had at that trade show ever. And I want to make sure that our capacity and capability, our excess ability to deliver outside our own borders is well understood and leveraged where it can be.
I just want to make sure that I understand what you said a second ago about buying from the States if we have to. So is it right to say that the thinking will be buy Canadian if we possibly can, buy from anywhere else if we can't buy Canadian, buy American if we have to?
Well, if you wanted to put it on a list, I guess that's the list that I'm looking at. It doesn't mean, I don't want people to walk out of this room saying that we're diminishing the relationship with the U.S. It's still an important relationship, and we are still going to work with the Americans. But if we had been putting 75% of our spend into any other country other than the U.S., I think we would all come to the conclusion that's probably not a good idea, and we need to diversify. The U.S. isn't the only game in town. And we need, especially with the challenges that we're having right now, if not when would we do it?
Is there like a strategic element to that, or I'm not sure if that's the right word, but given the tensions that we've had with the United States, Donald Trump's talking about the 51st state. I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before, or whatever day that was, when he was meeting with the generals. Again, reducing our buy from the United States, is there kind of like a strategic decoupling aspect to that's part of the strategy as well?
Again, if not now, when? We should not have our 75% of our eggs in anyone's basket, whether it be the United States or anybody else. This just makes a lot of sense. Coincidentally, the stimulus or the motivation to wake up one day and realize that we shouldn't have all the eggs in one basket is coming from south of the border, but we're here now. So what would make sense is that we diversify ourselves in a way that makes sense for Canada, a sovereign Canada, and move forward from there. Are we all on board? Awesome. Thank you very much. This is an exciting day for the country. Like I said, you can't, many governments have tried to do this, and this is an exciting day. This is going to benefit the Canadian Armed Forces industry and Canada in a way that we've never seen. So I'm super excited about it. Thank you.
How long before, this is, I mean, it's hard to say, but how long before your first project comes up that we're thinking months here?
We're working on, like, yeah, it's not like the PSPC and D&D are going to come over to the DIA in day one and dump dozens of high-value files on our desk. They're coming over in an orderly fashion that we can absorb them and get going. So there's an orderly transition of that, but the DIA will own it all, as it should, moving forward as quickly as we can.
Any idea when we'll be able to take a look at the F-35 report?
No, that is clearly in the Prime Minister's office. Again, it's an important decision for Canada. A decision has not been made. I don't personally feel any pressure. I understand the enormity of this decision. And when he has all the information that he needs to make the decision, he'll make it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you.